Chosen one, listen carefully, because this is not just another message. This is a confirmation. There is something happening in your life right now that you may not fully understand. Something that feels like a delay, a blockage, or even rejection. Doors that should have opened easily are suddenly shut. Plans that once felt aligned are falling apart. People you trusted are pulling away. And deep down you've been asking one question: why is this happening to me? But what if I told you this isn't happening to you? It's happening for you. Chosen one, God is not ignoring you. He is intervening. There is something ahead of you. Something dangerous. Something hidden beneath the surface. Something your human eyes cannot yet see. And instead of allowing you to walk straight into it, God has stepped in and placed a divine blockade in your path. And I know, it doesn't feel good. It feels like frustration. It feels like confusion. It feels like everything is going against you. But what you're experiencing is not punishment, it's protection. Think about it. There have been moments in your life where you later realized, if that had worked out, it would have destroyed me. At the time, you didn't understand it. You were hurt. You were disappointed. But later, you saw the truth. This moment right now, it's one of those moments. God sees what you cannot see. He knows the conversations happening behind closed doors. He knows the intentions people are hiding. He knows the traps that have been set in places you were about to step into. And because you are chosen, He will not allow just anything to touch you. This is not ordinary favor. This is divine interruption. There are people who can walk into danger and not even realize it until it's too late. But you? No, your life is too significant. Your calling is too important. Your purpose is too powerful. So when God blocks something from you, it's not random. It's intentional. Right now, you may be standing in front of a closed door, wondering why it won't open. But what if on the other side of that door was betrayal? What if it was loss? What if it was something that would have completely derailed your destiny? God is not just guiding you, He is guarding you. And here's the part many people don't talk about. Protection doesn't always feel like protection. Sometimes it feels like loss. Sometimes it feels like rejection. Sometimes it feels like you're being left behind. But you're not being left behind. You're being held back on purpose. Chosen one, if this message is speaking directly to your spirit right now, don't ignore it. This is your confirmation. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment, "I am protected," to seal this message over your life. And if you truly feel this word is reaching you at the right time, consider sending a super thanks to support the message reaching others like you. Because there are more chosen ones out there, standing in confusion, not realizing that what feels like a setback is actually a setup for protection. And this is just the beginning. Chosen one, now let's go deeper, because this is where things become very real. You've been focused on what you lost, but you haven't fully considered what you were saved from. There are dangers in this world that don't announce themselves. They don't come with warning signs or loud alarms. Instead, they come disguised as opportunities, as relationships, as perfect timing. Everything about them looks right on the surface, but underneath there is something misaligned. Something that carries consequences you were never meant to carry. And this is where God steps in. The truth is, some of the things you desired recently were not sent to elevate you. They were positioned to entangle you. That person you were getting close to, you saw connection. God saw manipulation. That opportunity you were chasing, you saw growth. God saw compromise. That path you were about to walk down, you saw progress. God saw destruction waiting at the end of it. And because you are chosen, God will not allow you to build your future on something that was designed to break you. This is the part many people struggle with. God will remove something good-looking if it's not God-sent. Not everything that feels right is right for you. In fact, some of the most dangerous situations come wrapped in comfort. They don't challenge you immediately. They don't raise red flags at first. They ease you in slowly, until you're too deep to walk away without damage. But you were never meant to learn that lesson the hard way. That's why the delay came. That's why the confusion hit. That's why things suddenly shifted without explanation. It wasn't chaos. It was intervention. There is a reason Scripture reminds us that God's ways are higher than our ways. It's because He operates from a place of full vision. While you see a moment, He sees the entire timeline. While you feel an emotion, he knows the outcome tied to it. You were about to step into something that looked like alignment, but was actually a setup. And let's be honest for a moment. If everything had gone smoothly, you would have walked straight into it. You wouldn't have questioned it. You wouldn't have paused. You would have embraced it fully, believing it was part of your breakthrough. That's why God didn't just warn you. He blocked it completely. Because sometimes a whisper isn't enough. Sometimes the only way to protect you is to shut the door so firmly that you have no choice but to stop. Chosen one, this is not rejection. This is redirection with purpose. And here's something even deeper to understand. The enemy doesn't always attack with obvious negativity. Sometimes the attack comes through distraction, through things that seem harmless, but slowly pull you away from your true path. You weren't just being led somewhere. You were being led away from where you're truly meant to be. But God saw it. Before the mistake could happen, before the damage could be done, before the regret could take root, he stepped in. And now you're here, wondering why things didn't work out. But soon, you're going to look back at this exact moment and say, thank God that didn't happen. Because what felt like a missed opportunity was actually a divine rescue. Chosen one, this is where your understanding has to shift. Because what you're experiencing is not something everyone goes through. Not everyone faces these sudden blockages, these unexplained delays, these moments where life seems to stop them right before something they deeply wanted. But you do, and it's not by accident. It's because you are chosen. There is a difference between living life and being assigned a purpose. When you are chosen, your life is not just about your desires, your plans, or your timing. It becomes aligned with something higher, something divine, and that changes how God deals with you. See, most people are allowed to walk into situations, learn through pain, and figure things out after the damage is done. They make choices, face consequences, and slowly grow from those experiences. But your path is different because your purpose is too important to be constantly rebuilt after destruction. God doesn't allow you to learn everything the hard way. Sometimes he steps in before the mistake happens. He blocks things early. He disrupts your plans. He removes people quickly. He closes doors without explanation. Not because he's being harsh, but because he's being intentional. You are not being treated like everyone else because you are not called to live like everyone else. And this is where many chosen ones struggle internally. You look around and see others moving forward easily. They get the opportunities you wanted. They build the connections you were hoping for. They seem to walk through doors that were slammed shut in your face. And it makes you question, why is my path so difficult? But what you don't see is this. Some of those same people are walking into lessons you were spared from. Some of those doors they walked through will lead to seasons of pain, confusion, or loss that you were never meant to carry. You're not being delayed, you're being distinguished. There is a higher level of accountability on your life. A higher level of protection, a higher level of guidance. And yes, sometimes that guidance feels uncomfortable because it requires you to trust God even when you don't understand him. Think about it this way. If you were entrusted with something extremely valuable, something rare, something powerful, you wouldn't expose it to unnecessary risk. You wouldn't allow just anyone to access it. You would guard it carefully, move strategically, and protect it at all costs.
उम्मीद करता हूँ आप सब लोग खैरियत से होंगे। मेरी तरफ से आप सब लोगों को, आपके घर वालों को, आपके प्यारों को बहुत बहुत ईद मुबारक। अपना बहुत सारा ख्याल रखिए, खुश रहिए, सलामत रहिए, आबाद रहिए।
That's exactly how God is handling you. You are not ordinary. You are not random. You are not overlooked. You are protected with intention. And that means certain things will never be allowed to reach you. Certain environments will never fully accept you. Certain relationships will never fully work out. Certain opportunities will collapse before they begin. Not because you're lacking, but because you're set apart. This is what it truly means to be chosen. It's not just about blessings and favor. It's about divine boundaries. It's about being guided in ways that don't always make sense in the moment, but become crystal clear later. And here's something you need to understand deeply. The very thing you're frustrated about today, is the very thing that is preserving your future. If God allowed you to experience everything you wanted, exactly when you wanted it, you wouldn't just gain, you would also lose things that cannot be replaced. Your peace, your clarity, your alignment. So instead, God filters your path. He removes what doesn't belong. He blocks what isn't safe. He delays what isn't ready. And he does it all because of who you are becoming. Chosen one, you are not being restricted. You are being refined and protected at a higher level. Chosen one, pay close attention to the timing. Because if you look at your life honestly, you'll notice a pattern. These blockages, these sudden stops, these unexpected disruptions, they don't happen randomly. They often show up right before something big is about to shift. Right when you feel close. Right when things start aligning. Right when it seems like you're about to step into something greater. That's when everything pauses. And it confuses you. It makes you feel like you were wrong, like you misread the signs, like maybe you got your hopes up for nothing. But what you're actually witnessing is something much deeper. You're standing at a spiritual intersection. On one side, there is your breakthrough, your next level, your elevation. On the other side, there is distraction, deception, and hidden danger trying to attach itself to that same moment. And this is where God becomes extremely precise, because elevation attracts attention. The moment you get close to stepping into something greater, not everything that shows up is meant to go with you. Some things appear at the same time as your breakthrough, not to bless you, but to corrupt the transition. That's why the blockage happens right before. It's not delaying your breakthrough. It's protecting the purity of it. Imagine stepping into your next level while carrying the wrong person, the wrong mindset, or the wrong opportunity. It wouldn't just slow you down. It could completely derail what God is trying to build through you. So instead of letting you move forward prematurely, God pauses everything. He separates what looks connected. He removes what feels convenient. He disrupts what seems like perfect timing. And in that moment, it feels like everything is falling apart. But in reality, everything is being realigned. Chosen one, there are things that cannot go where you're going. Not because they are always bad, but because they are not right for your next level. And if they are not right, they become dangerous. That's why God doesn't always explain the why immediately. Because if you saw how close you were to walking into something harmful, it would overwhelm you. So instead, he simply stops it. He blocks the call. He delays the response. He shifts the outcome. And you're left in a space of uncertainty. But that uncertainty is sacred because it means God is working behind the scenes, adjusting things you cannot yet see. He's clearing paths. He's removing interference. He's making sure that when you do step forward, you step forward clean, aligned, and protected. This is what many people misunderstand about breakthrough. They think it's just about receiving. But true breakthrough is also about what gets removed before you receive. Because what you carry into your next season matters just as much as what you gain. And here's the truth you need to hold on to. If God is blocking something right now, it's because it cannot survive in the place he's taking you. Let that sink in. The thing you're questioning, the thing you're trying to understand, the thing you almost stepped into, it doesn't belong in your future. And instead of letting you discover that through pain, God is allowing you to experience it through protection. So don't rush this moment. Don't try to force doors open. Don't chase what God is clearly removing. Because on the other side of this blockage, there is something far greater waiting for you. Chosen one, this is where clarity becomes power. Because not every delay means the same thing. Not every closed door carries the same message. And if you don't learn how to discern what's really happening, you can end up fighting against the very thing that is meant to help you. Sometimes God is testing you. Other times he is protecting you. And those two can feel very similar, but they are completely different in purpose. A test is meant to strengthen you. A blockage is meant to redirect you. A test will require endurance. It will ask you to stay consistent, to push through discomfort, to grow in faith even when things are difficult. In a test, the door may feel heavy, but it's not completely shut. There's still movement. There's still a sense that if you remain aligned, something will eventually open. But when God is blocking something, it's different. There's a finality to it, a resistance you cannot break through, a feeling that no matter how much effort you apply, it simply won't come together. And here's where many chosen ones make a critical mistake. They treat protection like it's a test. They keep pushing, They keep forcing. They keep trying to revive something God has already shut down, not realizing they are exhausting themselves trying to access something that was never meant to be theirs. Chosen one, you have to pay attention to the pattern. When something is truly for you, even if it's challenging, there will be a sense of alignment beneath the difficulty. Things may take time, but they won't feel completely blocked at every turn. But when something is not for you, everything about it becomes heavy. Communication breaks down. Timing never lines up. Unexpected obstacles keep appearing. Your spirit feels unsettled, even if your mind is trying to justify it. That's not coincidence. That's divine resistance. It's God's way of saying, this is not your path. And here's the deeper truth. God will allow you to struggle in a test, but He will not allow you to succeed in something that will harm you. Let that really settle in. If you find yourself unable to make something work despite your best efforts, despite your prayers, despite your intentions, you need to pause and ask, am I being tested or am I being protected? Because the answer will determine your next move. If it's a test, you stay, you grow, you learn, you endure. But if it's protection, you release, you stop chasing, you stop forcing, you stop trying to make sense of something that God has already removed from your path. And yes, that's not easy, because sometimes what's being blocked is something you really wanted, something you prayed for, something you believed was right. But God doesn't operate based on what looks good in the moment. He operates based on what will be right in the long run. You see a chapter, He sees the entire story. And because of that, He will close doors that you would have kept open. Chosen one, this is where your maturity begins to show. Can you trust God enough to walk away from what doesn't work without needing a full explanation? Can you accept that sometimes the answer is simply no? Because something better, safer, and more aligned is ahead. Because once you understand this, everything changes. You stop wasting energy. You stop chasing confusion. You stop attaching yourself to things that were never meant to stay. Instead, you begin to move with peace, knowing that whatever God blocks is not a loss. It's a filter. Chosen one, now it's time to get practical. God doesn't always speak in thunder and lightning. Often His protection comes in subtle, unmistakable ways. If you can learn to recognize these signs, you will stop doubting, stop forcing, and start walking fully in His timing. Sign 1. Constant resistance. No matter how hard you try, it feels like you're hitting walls at every turn. Every effort is met with obstacles. Communication breaks down. Opportunities fall through. Even your prayers and plans seem stalled. This isn't random difficulty. It's divine resistance. God is making it clear, this is not the path for you. Sign 2. Persistent unease. Your spirit feels unsettled. You can't shake the feeling that something is off. Maybe on paper, it looks right. Maybe everyone else is encouraging you. But inside, there's a constant tension, a warning you can't ignore. That inner unease, that's your spirit sensing danger before your eyes see it. God is using your intuition to block harm before it reaches you. Sign 3. Doors close that should open. Sometimes life presents opportunities that should be straightforward, but aren't. Doors that seemed wide open suddenly slam shut. People you trusted become distant. Timing never aligns. These closures aren't coincidences. They're deliberate. God is shutting doors so that you won't step into situations that could compromise your destiny. Sign 4. Unexpected delays. Delays often feel frustrating. You're ready. You've prepared. You've prayed, but suddenly progress halts. These delays may feel inconvenient, but they are often God's way of buying time for your protection. Something ahead could cause harm if you rushed into it. By holding you back, God ensures you step forward safely. Sign 5. Red flags you can't ignore. Sometimes God warns through circumstances, not words. Unexpected behavior, hidden motives, or small inconsistencies appear in your path. These red flags may seem minor, but they are signals of danger. Pay attention. Don't rationalize them away. They are divine nudges saying, stop, not yet. Recognizing these signs requires faith and discernment. You must learn to trust more than what you see, more than what others say, and even more than your own plans. Because the moment you understand these signs, you stop struggling against God's protection. You stop fearing missed opportunities, and you start seeing everything. He allows and blocks as part of his perfect design for your life. Chosen one, this is your spiritual awakening. Every blocked path, every delayed opportunity, every door that won't open is a shield. God is guarding your calling, your purpose, and your destiny. He is not punishing you, and he is not ignoring you. He is protecting you from what you cannot yet perceive. So take heart, learn to read the signs, honor the blockages as divine intervention. Stay alert but stay calm. Walk with trust, knowing that nothing he blocks is random, and everything he protects is preparing you for a breakthrough beyond what you can imagine. Chosen one, this is where everything comes together. The blockages you've faced, the delays, the closed doors, the resistance, they are not obstacles meant to hold you back. They are preparation. They are shaping you into the person God has called you to be. And once you understand this, your perspective on every setback, every moment of frustration, and every unanswered prayer will completely shift. God's protection is purposeful. He knows the weight of what he's calling you to carry, and he will never allow you to step into a season unprepared. Just like a master craftsman doesn't rush the creation of a masterpiece, God doesn't rush the unfolding of your life. Every blocked path, every delay, every disruption is sculpting you, refining you, and readying you for what is ahead. You may be wondering, why can't I just go now? Why the wait? The answer is simple. Timing is everything. Your breakthrough, your destiny, and your calling cannot intersect with danger, compromise, or unpreparedness. Imagine trying to step into a high-level calling with unresolved wounds, incomplete faith, or compromised alignment. It would be destructive. God is safeguarding you, ensuring that when the moment arrives, you are fully ready to receive, fully capable to thrive, and fully aligned with his plan. There's another layer here. God's blockages teach discernment. By removing what is harmful, he trains you to recognize what is beneficial. You learn to hear his voice over the chaos of the world. You learn to trust what is invisible, what is not yet revealed. And in that trust, your faith grows stronger. You begin to see that protection is not a limitation. It is a gateway to greater blessings and divine favor. Consider the spiritual principle found in Scripture. God often uses seasons of waiting to multiply your impact. What is delayed is not denied. What is blocked is not lost. Each moment of pause, each setback, is part of a divine strategy to position you for something far beyond what you could have achieved on your own. Those who are chosen are not just protected, they are perfected for purpose. This is why it's critical to embrace the blockages with gratitude instead of frustration. The closed doors, the failed plans, the unanswered prayers, they are signposts pointing you toward your destiny. When you can see them this way, fear and doubt have no power. You walk confidently, knowing that nothing touches your life without God's approval. You become attuned to his guidance and able to navigate life with spiritual wisdom. Chosen one, the ultimate truth is this. Every protective blockage, every divine delay, every obstacle is a setup for your next level. Your calling, your purpose, your destiny, they are too important to risk, too valuable to compromise, and too powerful to be delayed by anything unsafe. God is not keeping you from your future. He is preparing you for it in ways your mind cannot yet comprehend. So when life feels like it's holding you back, remember this. You are not lost, you are not rejected, and you are not forgotten. You are chosen, you are protected, and your destiny is unfolding exactly as it should. Stand firm in faith. Embrace the lessons hidden in the blockages, and know with certainty that the next chapter of your life, filled with purpose, elevation, and divine favor, is already being prepared. Your breakthrough is coming. Your protection is proof, and your destiny is unstoppable.